Good morning, St. Francis, and good morning, people of God. It is Thursday, the second day of January 2025. It is Thursday of it's kind of technically the second week of Christmas because we finished the first week of Christmas yesterday. So it's the ninth day of Christmas. So this is where it gets really tough. In keeping going with the Christmas season, we still have 10 more days left of the Christmas season. And so everybody else is wrapping things up. They'll be taking things down. The tree will begin to disappear all over the place. They'll be thrown out onto the sidewalks, waiting for collection by garbage and recycling people and what have you. But we still will celebrate for 2 more weekends. This upcoming weekend, which will be for Epiphany, and then the following weekend, which will be for the baptism of Jesus. So do not stop celebrating. Do not stop the Christmas momentum. Do not stop the joy from happening. Even though the rest of the world will be moving into the drudgery of January, it is still Christmas for us, and we have to kind of remember that, and we have to celebrate that with as much wonder and beauty as we can. Do not get tired of it. I believe the Hallmark station has already stopped their Christmas shows. So we need to pick up the slack now. We need to pick up where they have left off and continue with the celebration of Christmas for 10 more days. So today on this on the second day of January, on this ninth day of Christmas, we begin a celebration of various saints that are associated with this beginning of, kind of with the beginning of the civil year, but it's also then the beginning, the continuation of Christmas itself. And so St. Basil the Great and St. Gregory Nazianzen, two great scholars in the early church, trying to help the church both understand itself as a community of prayer, a community of worship. That's what St. Basil's great claim to fame is. And then also trying to deal with a lot of the controversies that are happening and beginning to arise in those early centuries. Both of them lived about the 300s, 400s in the Common Era. The controversies that begin to arise because, again, who is this Jesus? And again, why is he important to us? Why is he different than anything else? And what does he mean when he basically says, again, that this kingdom is among us, this kingdom is within us? And what does it mean for the realization of God having walked among us in Christ, becoming something that now changes the course of human history? Both Basil and Gregory, again, dealt with those kinds of questions, which again is where we continue to move now, away from the crib, away from mangers and shepherds and cows and donkeys and magi, well, not yet, but soon, and all those other kinds of images that too much gets Christmas wrapped up in. We now have to deal with who this child is becoming for us, and who this child remains for us, and how does this child show us the way that is the way we must follow as human beings, the way that we must go as human beings. And so the first letter of John continues, again, trying to give support and confidence to the early Christian community, not to lose faith, not to lose sight, not to lose their way, moving towards listening to the gospel and letting the gospel enter into their lives. Again, all of these other kinds of ideas, which seem contradictory, all these other kinds of ideas that do not blend well with the gospel of love and mercy and forgiveness and peace, are not to be followed. And again, for all of us, as we move from this Christmas season, which this Christmas season, as our culture celebrates it, for all of us who move, who are in that kind of vortex of moving away from a cultural Christmas, where it seems that peace and joy and love are only temporary or momentary on a calendar, we are called to live every day of our life. We are called to be embracing every day of our life. And this first letter of John constantly reinforces that and tries to give courage, to the faithful, to not lose sight and not lose hope, that what we believe in love and mercy and forgiveness and hope are not just flaky ideals, but are the way of our life as human beings. In John's Gospel, we now kind of move all the way back again to Advent, because again, we are an Advent people more than anything else, a people who have feet in this world that we live in and in this world to come, who are still awaiting the fulfillment of God's promises. And so John's prologue moves to the appearance of the Baptist, and the Baptist being questioned about who he is and what he's doing and why he's proclaiming, and who is he proclaiming. And again, the Baptist pointing toward the one who is coming, the one who he is not worthy to to unwrap the sandal thongs, of the straps of his sandals. Again, this one that is mightier than he, the one that is coming again to take away the sin of the world, not just various sins, but all that stands in the way of us achieving the wonder and beauty of what it means to be human. This is why Christ comes, and this is in John's proclamation of the Baptist, why the Baptist understands he is proclaiming the arrival of this Messiah, who will take away everything that divides us from ourselves and from one another, and eventually from God, and allow us to embrace the fullness and wonder and beauty of who we are, which again is where Christmas points us. A continued blessed Christmas season and a happy civil New Year. May the Lord give you his peace.